Good evening. It's so exciting to be here with you this evening. This is our first event in the PharmD program since pre-pandemic. We'll get started in a second. I just wanted to remind the pharmacy students before we start to, if you haven't already, unbutton the buttons of your white coat, okay? That is the first step to make what follows a little bit more seamless. So just unbutton and then fold it back up. You guys look wonderful. Okay. My name is Natalie Crown. I am the director of the Doctor of Pharmacy program here at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy, and today I have the distinct pleasure of serving as your host for tonight's special event, the Induction into the Professional Community of Pharmacy ceremony. Welcome. I'd like to begin with a land acknowledgement. We wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. So we are thrilled, as I've already alluded to be able to reconvene and hold this event in person, even though it may look a little bit different and smaller than before. It is no less special. We are also fortunate to have some distinguished guests with us this evening, whom I will introduce shortly, as well as faculty and staff to celebrate this special evening with us. Thank you all for enthusiastically accepting our invitation and generously giving your time to be here with us this evening. I would also like to take a moment to welcome your family, friends, special guests of the class of 2T5, and also to members of our faculty community who are joining us virtually via our live stream. We thank you for tuning in and feel and welcome your presence at our ceremony today. Before I go any further, I want to take a moment to recognize the individuals who have made this event possible. And as is the case in many events and in anything that you see in the PharmD program, there's a lot of people behind the scenes doing the great work to make tonight possible. I'll start by thanking Jessica Uedi, the admin assistant for the PharmD program, who has done most of the hard work to coordinate tonight's event. I would also like to thank Linda Chung, Donald Wong, Brenda Thrush, our advancement and alumni relations team, including Tara O'Leary, Laura Warman, Suriana Thapa, Candice Hamill, and Susan Drodge. Thank you to our extraordinary communications team, a couple of whom are off to my right, Kate Richards and Steve Southen, for the live streaming the event tonight. And to our students, the Pharmacon photographers, it was exciting to see you capturing some moments pre-ceremony and for capturing this unique moment in time. Even if it will document us all in masks, I know we have great big smiles underneath, so thank you for that. I'd also like to thank Jamie Keller, our Associate Dean, who's provided a lot of guidance to me as the new incoming director as she handed over this event. So now on to our main event. To our Year 1 students, the class of 2T5, a most sincere and warm welcome. You have waited a long time for tonight's event, and so have we. We're truly privileged to have you join the faculty and the larger pharmacy community. Today I'm welcoming you into the professional community of pharmacy. It's an important milestone in your journey to become a pharmacist. In reflecting on tonight's event, I was also reflecting on a milestone of my own, as I'm coming up to my 20th anniversary of graduation from my undergraduate pharmacy degree. This profession has afforded me a wonderful career, has taken me down many paths, and I have grown as a professional, a clinician, and a person through the patients I served, my pharmacist mentors, and colleagues I've worked with across the health system. I'm so proud to be a member of this community, to welcome you into this community, and I look forward to the same for each of you. By entering the pharmacy program here at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy, you chose a path to become a valued healthcare professional who will improve the health of Canadians. We have all witnessed the impact of pharmacists throughout the pandemic. Our work has garnered a new level of appreciation amongst our health professional colleagues, our patients, and we've even been highlighted in the media like never before. Pharmacists provide accessible care and have stepped up even more so during very challenging times. I'm confident that you too will embrace the vital roles of the pharmacy profession. Now, not only are you joining a prestigious profession, you are also part of a highly regarded health sciences faculty at the University of Toronto and one of the top faculties of pharmacy in the world. In choosing pharmacy, in choosing U of T pharmacy, you've said yes to all the opportunities that comes with it, but you've also accepted the responsibility that comes with these opportunities. In deciding to become a pharmacist, you've begun your commitment to the professional role. I, together with our faculty and staff, look forward to continuing to support you through your educational journey. As you are already learning, your time with us will go quickly, although I know it doesn't always seem that way. During our program orientation in September, I asked you to take a moment to reflect and write down why you chose our profession. My hope is that as you progress through the PharmD program, you are beginning to develop a personal sense of what it means to say I'm pharmacy. Something that's meaningful to you, your own experiences to date, and your future ambitions. On your journey, I encourage you to continue to embrace the opportunities that come with being a pharmacy student at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy. Today, we will formalize your affiliation with the profession through this symbolic induction ceremony. The context of this will be set by our dean and guest speakers who will bring greetings from various areas of our profession. I would now like to invite our dean, Lisa Dolovich, to address the class.
I'm a little taller than you, Natalie. Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor Crown, for your remarks, and let me echo your welcome to the class of 2T5, to our colleagues in pharmacy here today, and to the many friends and family members joining us on the live stream. I too am smiling under this mask, it's beaming. I think I'm learning, we're all learning how to see the smiles in people's eyes, and truly everybody has great smiles on today. Today's ceremony is an important professional milestone, and I am so proud to have you officially join the profession of pharmacy, to join our profession of pharmacy. As Professor Crown has said, it's clear that now, more than ever, there is a renewed appreciation for pharmacists and the unique and vital contributions that pharmacy expertise lends to providing essential patient-centered care. In this moment, there's also a renewed opportunity for leadership across healthcare, for pharmacists to take our experiences and lessons learned and be part of reimagining the future of care across our communities, to turn the challenges that we faced into opportunities for action centered on building, empowering, and sustaining healthy societies. You are all joining a profession that is going to make great contributions in those areas. It also means, in joining this profession, acting at all times with professionalism and knowing that your actions are now ones that represent the entire profession. Pharmaceuticals are powerful entities. We've witnessed this so acutely during the COVID-19 pandemic. Pharmacists have a great responsibility to help people obtain the benefits of the treatments we provide and minimize any potential harms. We have the responsibility to be a trusted expert resource for our patients and for our colleagues. The Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy is preparing you to take on these great responsibilities. We're here to support your journey and to help you build and shape your professional identity. The public has immense trust in pharmacists, and we all strive to uphold that trust on an everyday, every action basis. Sincere congratulations on reaching this milestone and for everything you've achieved to be here today. I'm so pleased that we're holding this ceremony with you in person and to officially welcome you to the profession of pharmacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Dolovich. Our next speaker is Susan James, Acting Registrar of the Ontario College of Pharmacists. Please join me in welcoming Susan to the podium.
Thank you so much. Good evening and congratulations. I am delighted to be here with you tonight and to share in this ceremony. You're going to have to forgive me. I am going to follow my notes, which isn't my preferred style, but I do have a few minutes and lots to say, so bear with me. I said that I'm excited to be here, and I could tell you that's because you, all of those faces, the smiles behind them, represent the future for the profession. Full of promise, full of potential, ambition, perhaps a little bit of anxiety, and I know lots of energy. And while most of that would be true, to say I'm excited for that reason, I think in many ways I'm really excited because this allows me the opportunity to go back in time, much like Natalie, and to reflect and remember the feelings that I had when so many years ago, many more than Natalie, I too was entering a profession. I was at that point and had achieved a very important milestone, that of being accepted into a program. Having come through the process of determining what it was that I wanted to be, my own personal experience, those things that drove me to want to become a healthcare professional. And it's through the acceptance of the program that you then, by virtue of that, are being invited and indeed welcomed into the profession. It's been a long time since I've worked directly with patients, but the memories and emotion that comes with serving in that role remain always. The feeling of satisfaction and the value at being able to help somebody to manage an illness, disease, disability, and to know that you've been a part of that, a part of their success or their improvement. And sometimes that comes from something as significant as a life-saving intervention, and sometimes it comes from simply showing that you care, sharing your knowledge, listening, and engaging with them. Whatever it is, knowing you've had a meaningful impact is so important. You can't always predict when patients will find your knowledge, your skills, and your caring to be most helpful. The ability to contribute, of course, goes well beyond direct patient care. I'm a regulator now and have been for a very long time, but I'm still driven by that same goal and value that I had and that you have and all healthcare professionals have in improving the health status of people and in doing so, making their lives and their well-being better. I just do it differently now. I do it through others. I do it mostly through the profession of pharmacy, the professionals of pharmacy, through you. Of course, I'm actually here tonight to welcome you into the profession on behalf of the College of Pharmacists, and I am delighted to do so. Congratulations once again. And as you've heard, this is an extremely exciting time to be a pharmacist, to be coming out into a profession where the public and your peers can't help but applaud you and recognize the value that you bring to the healthcare system and to the lives of all Ontarians. I expect that you already are aware that the college sets out standards of practice, requirements for registration, continuing competence, responding and managing concerns that are raised and brought forward to the college. But those are really just the operational and mechanics of being a regulator. I think what many people forget is that in order for us to achieve our mandate, to serve the public, we have to work together. We have to work with you. We need to be sure that we are aligned in terms of what we're doing. We need to provide you with the tools, the information, and the regulatory mechanisms to be able to accomplish what you need to do to serve the public interest. And that includes optimizing your role through all of those tools. So one of the most helpful resources that I can think of when I think back over the years, and one that hasn't shifted over the years, is the Code of Ethics. It sets out the core values and the principles that underpin everything that you will do with patients. And it's also something that your peers will share in as well. So I really just want to say to you now that as you hear the Code of Ethics, as you make your pledge and make your commitment to join the profession. Always keep that close to you and know that if you remain true to that, you will do yourself and your patients the best that you possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I'd now like to call on Jen Belcher. Jen is Vice President of Strategic Initiatives and Member Relations at the Ontario Pharmacists Association and also an alumni of the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy. So welcome, Jen.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and address the class of 2T5 on behalf of the over 10,000 members of the Ontario Pharmacists Association. It's beyond meaningful for me to stand here before you today in the same classroom where I had my Whitecoat ceremony just 12 years ago. While I reflect on my path as a pharmacy professional, I credit most of the opportunity that I've found in my career to what I consider to be a pivotal moment standing outside of this very classroom at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy. Like many momentous moments, you don't necessarily realize the import of it until you look back with some distance. I stood out there canvassing to become the vice president of my class of 1T3, having baked muffins as part of the campaign that I had in order to be elected to student council. And at that point in time, I was new, I didn't know very much about pharmacy, and I was unaware of how much pharmacy students, and in fact all healthcare professionals, revere and love free food. So I credit that opportunity that my class provided me with the open door to discover my love of student government, of advocacy, and of finding new ways that the pharmacy profession can open doors for the patients of Ontario. You are joining a profession that has demonstrated its value to the healthcare system in unprecedented ways, especially over the course of this COVID-19 pandemic. Pharmacy professionals and the role they have played as community healthcare hubs, stewards of the Canadian drug supply, and key actors in a public health response of a magnitude we have never seen before, have raised the profile of our profession such that we are now discussed as at the dinner tables of Ontarians as community healthcare heroes. The opportunities that we will see as a result of this will be long-reaching and have significant impact to your future practice as pharmacists, but do not also come without challenges. Pharmacy professionals, like other healthcare workers, are struggling with our role and experience burnout from the pandemic and the challenges with being one of the most trusted and accessible healthcare professions out there. As you enter the profession, you will find new ways to overcome these challenges, and one of the most important ways in which you can do that is support each other and find support amongst your colleagues. As you embark upon your pharmacy education and career, you will need a strong network of support to help guide and challenge you in your thinking. As a student here, your first community comes from this building as you're surrounded by friends, by colleagues, educators, and mentors. Take this opportunity to plug into this network as much as you can while you are here, because these wonderful people will carry you forward past graduation and into your practice. Indeed, there are many days where I think about the time spent in the back right of this classroom and long for the time spent at the faculty because it brings me that sense of community. My network of pharmacy colleagues that sat with me are now scattered across the province, all doing interesting and important things for their patients. They were my pharmacy base for so long, and I credit my survival of pharmacy school in a large part to that community. You will learn and probably forget many things throughout your time here at the faculty, but the most valuable asset you will take from this program is the continued support of the network that you build and your ability to solve problems on behalf of your patients and on behalf of the healthcare system. And that is a skill that you will learn here in spades. Going into practice after graduation, it can feel sometimes that you've lost a little bit of that pharmacy community as you move out into practice. This is where your pharmacy association will help fill that gap for you. The Ontario Pharmacists Association is a community that provides professional support, a voice in advocacy and public relations, exceptional continuing education, and networking and leadership opportunities to advance your career past your graduation. Member benefits of the program can come and benefit you in so many different ways as a practicing pharmacist within Ontario. In joining the Ontario Pharmacists Association, you'll be choosing to be part of that community and part of that support network. and you'll be advancing your chosen profession and creating future opportunities to better care for your patients. I personally will be eternally grateful for the role this faculty played in developing my potential so that I could take on the challenges of practicing in both community and hospital pharmacy, working in the head office of a pharmacy banner, serving as a board of director, chair of the board, and now as a staff member for the Ontario Pharmacists Association. Those in the room who taught and educated me will probably tell you that I was not their most exceptional student academically, but here's where I discovered the most important part of my pharmacist identity: how to be a helper. I look forward to the ways the Ontario Pharmacists Association can help you do the same and help you create the bright and free future that you deserve professionally and personally into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. I'll now call on Olivia Ng, who's here to represent the Canadian Society of Hospital Pharmacists. Olivia is the past president of the Ontario branch of CSHP and also an LDFP alumni. Welcome.
Hello, U of T class of 2T5. First of all, thank you for the invitation to speak to you today. And I'm excited to be here in person this time. I also remember, much like Jen, being in this room, and I actually remember my exact spot that I sat in for the 4 years. We just sat in the same spot. And so on behalf of the Canadian Society of Hospital Pharmacists, the Ontario branch, congratulations on all your accomplishments so far, and welcome to the pharmacy family. And when I say family, that's with a PH, of course. This is such a time of change for healthcare right now, and it's our privilege to welcome you to our growing profession as we transform to take on new challenges and forge new paths for our profession. The Canadian Society of Hospital Pharmacists is the national voluntary organization of pharmacists committed to patient care through the advancement of safe, effective medication use in hospitals, as well as other collaborative healthcare settings. As a hospital pharmacy leader, I saw firsthand how quickly our profession stepped up to support our patients from our critical care settings to safely discharging our patients back to community, especially during the COVID era. As you go through your pharmacotherapy courses, your EPE rotations, know that you are already starting to contribute to the future of pharmacy and that you will soon be pharmacy colleagues alongside those who you meet here as professors, guest lecturers, and those making speeches to you like I am today. The one takeaway that I'd like you to have is this: the most important qualities that you need to be a pharmacist are the ones you had even before you entered pharmacy school. It's how you want to make a positive difference in the lives of others and how you care deeply for others. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. It gives me great pleasure, actually, to welcome two of our fabulous student leaders, the president and vice president of the Undergraduate Pharmacy Society. Christine and Chelsea exemplify the qualities of authentic student leaders. I have admired your dedication, your positivity, and your willingness to contribute and work so hard to foster community, even in times of challenge when we weren't able to gather like we are tonight. Please welcome Christine and Chelsea.
Good evening, faculty, distinguished guests, friends and family joining us on live stream, and most importantly, the class of 2T5. It is such an honor to be a part of your induction ceremony this year. My name is Christine, and I'm your UPS president.
And my name is Chelsea, and I'm your UPS vice president.
Just 2 years ago, Chelsea and I were sitting in those very seats, and now we are just 1 month away from our experiential rotations.
Wow, time really does fly, Christine. When we were asked to speak at your ceremony, we wondered what tips and tricks we could recommend to make your time here at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy even better. We came up with 3 tips.
Tip number 1 is to always ask your patients for allergies. Allergies is the answer to all of your labs. Okay, if not all, at least one. But more seriously, As you take your oath today, make sure to remember the importance behind it, which is your commitment to improving the lives of our patients by providing quality care and upholding professionalism during your career as a pharmacy student and beyond as a pharmacist.
Secondly, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Your 4 years here at the faculty will allow you to discover who you are as a healthcare professional. There are a plethora of experiences to be had here, whether it be in clubs, class council, in MTM labs, in classes, or even on rotation. Take advantage of all the opportunities now, as before you know it, time will pass as quickly as it has for Christine and I. Putting yourself out there is a chance to gain insight into your strengths and how you can improve to be the best pharmacist you can be. And we are excited to see you become exactly that.
And tip number 3, these vows will really be the cornerstone of your first steps as a healthcare professional. Donning your white coats today represent your induction into pharmacy as future healthcare professionals. You will change lives, touch hearts, and most importantly, forward the profession of pharmacy in ways we have never seen before. And as you do, keep professionalism and your vows at the core of the trail that you will blaze, trailblazers.
With these 3 tips, we hope that you really enjoy yourself in this unique time in your life, where you get to plant 1 foot down as a student with the support of your peers and faculty, while you plant another foot down into providing patient care and applying what you learned here into our community. Everyone in attendance today, your peers, the faculty, your friends and family are here to support you. Use this time to create the foundation for which you will build your career on.
The profession of pharmacy has never been more at the forefront of patient care as it is now, and you're entering a profession that is changing for the better. Do not be afraid of this change and advocate for your profession, because there has never been a more true quote than, "Be the change you wish to see." Be passionate, be determined, and above all, be hopeful, because there never has been a better time for you to make a difference than now.
We're excited to have you as future colleagues, and we look forward to all the great things that you will do with your time here at LDFP. From the bottom of our hearts, and on the behalf of UPS, we welcome you to the family with a PH. Congratulations, 2T5s.
Thank you so much, Christine and Chelsea. I would now like to call upon Susan Drodge, the Director of Advancement at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy, who will be announcing the recipient of the Hall of Distinction Award.
Good evening. My name is Susan Drodge, and I'm the Director of Advancement here at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy. I am thrilled to be able to celebrate with you all the class of 2T5 this evening. The Office of Advancement and Alumni Relations is also delighted to have been able to provide you with your lab coats for tonight's ceremony. I would like to congratulate you all on your induction into the profession of community practice of pharmacy, and it is with great pleasure that I have the opportunity to present the 2021 Hall of Distinction Alumni Award. The Hall of Distinction Award is part of our Alumni Awards program. This award recognizes one distinguished alumni each year for their lifelong accomplishments to the profession of pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences. It is the highest honor bestowed on by our faculty to one of our alumni. This year, the careers of each of the recipients stands as an example and inspires future generations of Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy students. For 2021, our Hall of Distinction recipient is Raji Vayancourt. Congratulations, Raji. I would like to take a moment to share a little more with you about his career. After completing 25 years of service in the Canadian Armed Forces as a lieutenant colonel, military pharmacist, Raji continued to imbue leadership and commitment as the Director of Pharmacy for the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. Spanning over 4 decades and encompassing all pillars of the profession, Raji has proven to be a consummate leader and an innovator in Canadian pharmacy. This is underscored by his compassionate involvement in community as a practitioner, his exceptional service as the Canadian Armed Forces pharmacist, his recognized role in research as an academic, and his service as past president and active member of several pharmacy boards, committees, associations, and federations. In 2002, Raji started as a surveyor for Accreditation Canada, where he worked closely with fellow experts to improve the medication management systems by incorporating qualitative and quantitative findings on medication management. For over 30 years, Raji has been addressing common issues in the practice of pharmacy in Canada, where he has clearly demonstrated his impact not only nationally with his executive roles with the Canadian Society of Hospital Pharmacy, but also on a global scale with executive roles in International Pharmaceutical Federation. In 2009, in a humanitarian capacity, Raji started his role as a board member for the Pharmacists Without Borders and did not waste time in taking on leadership roles where he served as vice president from 2012 to 2014 and president from 2014 to 2016. As part of his work with Pharmacists Without Borders, Raji was responsible for the implementation of pharmaceutical care workshops in Poland. Raji, we are thrilled to welcome you to the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy Hall of Distinction as our 2021 recipient. Please join me in thanking Raji for his many contributions to our faculty and the profession of pharmacy. So unfortunately, due to limitations around in-person events and Raji's location in Ottawa, he is unable to join us this evening, but I do believe is watching on the live stream, and I would like to extend another congratulations to you, Raji. He did send us a video accepting his award, and we will be making that video available on our website later this evening, so please do have a quick watch. He's got some great words of inspiration for everybody. Again, I want to extend my congratulations to you all, the class of 2T5, on your induction into the professional community of pharmacy, and thank you and wish you a great rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan, and thanks to all of our speakers. I was very bolstered and inspired by your comments, and I know our class was too. And I think it was really helpful too in just illuminating some of the paths in pharmacy. I also just want to take a moment to link you guys to your family and friends and special guests who are participating in the live stream. And I've just gotten some feedback that we have lots of great comments coming in on the live stream from your family, from your friends. They're there, they're watching, they're proud of you. Thank you. Wave. Thank you to those, again, participating virtually. We see you, and we thank you for your participation. Okay, I would now like to invite members of our faculty and Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy community who are readers this evening to join me up front. And I'll just ask that you form a line down this way. And we are going to participate in the reading of the Ontario College of Pharmacists Code of Ethics. Before we begin, I'll just say that as a pharmacy student and future pharmacist, your conduct in our faculty and within the community will be guided by the ethical principles of the Ontario College of Pharmacists Code of Ethics, And Susan so nicely introduced this to you this evening. Thank you. This code guides all of us in our daily work that we do each day to serve our patients and society. I will invite members of our faculty community, so our faculty and students who are joining us tonight, to participate in reading excerpts from the Code of Ethics. And to those who are guests, you should have the first 4 pages of the Code of Ethics in your folder so you can follow along. I think I just have to turn on your mic.
All right, I think we're good now. All right. So the text that we are going to read this evening is extracted and adapted from the Ontario College of Pharmacists notice published in December 2015 into the section that's entitled Understanding the Professional Role and Commitment of Healthcare Professionals. The most important feature or characteristic that distinguishes a healthcare professional from another type of professional is that healthcare professionals are committed first and foremost to the direct benefit of their patients and only secondarily to making a profit. Pharmacists and pharmacy technicians are healthcare professionals. What does being a healthcare professional require of pharmacists and pharmacy technicians? In choosing to become a pharmacist, we acknowledge our understanding and commitment to the professional role, recognizing it is not about us, our own personal or business interests, it's about the patient.
We appreciate that our patients are vulnerable and may often be limited by personal and circumstantial factors which enhance and reinforce this vulnerability, and that inherent within the healthcare professional-patient relationship, there is an imbalance of power with the healthcare professional holding that power.
Patients trust that, as healthcare professionals, we will respect and protect their vulnerability and maintain professional boundaries within the healthcare professional-patient relationship as we use our knowledge, skills, and abilities to make decisions that enhance their health and well-being. Where does this obligation come from? When we become a regulated healthcare professional, we implicitly enter into what is commonly referred as a social contract with society.
This contract requires that we keep our promise to act in the best interest of our patients and place their well-being first and foremost. It requires that we recognize and remember that we have simply not chosen a profession, but also a vocation, committing ourselves to help and benefit those entrusted to our care in a spirit of altruism, goodwill, sincerity, and integrity. In exchange for our promise, society agrees to provide our profession with the autonomy to govern ourselves as a self-regulating profession with all the privileges and statuses afforded regulated healthcare professionals.
Ethical principles that govern healthcare practice. In fulfilling our professional promise to our patients and to society, healthcare professionals are guided by the following ethical principles of healthcare. Beneficence, to benefit. The first foundational principle that forms and guides our commitment to serve and protect the best interests of our patients establishes the fact that our primary role and function as healthcare professionals is to benefit our patients. We need to remember that our patients seek our care and services because they believe and trust that we will apply our knowledge, skills, and abilities to help make them better.
Non-maleficence, do no harm, and prevent harm from occurring. The second foundational principle that guides our commitment to serve and protect the best interests of our patients addresses the reality that as we strive to benefit our patients, we must be diligent in our efforts to do no harm and, whenever possible, prevent harm from occurring.
Respect for persons and justice. The third foundational principle merges the principle of respect for persons and justice, which collectively guide our understanding of how we ought to treat our patients. Respect for persons acknowledges that all persons, as a result of their intrinsic humanity, are worthy of our respect, compassion, and consideration.
We demonstrate this when we respect our patients' vulnerability, autonomy, and right to be self-governing decision makers in their own healthcare. The principle of justice requires that we fulfill our ethical obligation to treat all patients fairly and equitably.
Accountability, fidelity. The fourth and final foundational principle directly ties us to our professional promise to be responsible fiduciaries of the public trust, ensuring that we keep our promise to our patients and society to always and invariably act in their best interests and not our own. It is this principle that holds us accountable, not just for our own actions and behaviors, but for those of our colleagues as well.
Sorry about that. In a few moments, I will ask the code readers to place white coats on the students who have volunteered to represent their classmates' official donning of the white coats. As we mentioned earlier, our white coats this year have been generously provided by Advancement and Alumni Relations Office at the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy, so we thank them for their generous contribution. Will Whitecoat volunteers seated in the front here, please stand up and step forward and stand in front of our faculty and student colleagues. And if you'd like to take a moment and introduce yourself to whomever you're standing in front of, that would be great. So we'll start with, you guys can come forward. Yeah. That's great. Okay, so we'll get you to stand facing your classmates. Just hand your white coat over to the person standing behind you. The donning of a white coat today symbolizes your entry into the professional community of pharmacy. Almost everyone in this room has worn a lab coat at some point in time. They're practical when working in the labs, as many of you have experienced. However, there is something different and symbolic about today's donning of a white coat. It is a white coat, which is a symbol. Traditionally, the white coat of physicians symbolized their use of the scientific method and adherence to aseptic technique. Today, white coats for health science professionals represent the humanistic values and a commitment to the responsibility of their chosen profession. May this serve as a symbol of our duty to care and the trust your patients and community have in you. Throughout your career, let this symbolic moment be an enduring reminder of your roles and responsibilities as a pharmacist. And I'd now like to ask the pharmacist to place the white coats on your students. Okay. Thank you. Now I'd like to ask the students to return to your seats but remain standing. And will all members of the class of 2025 now stand? And will all pharmacist guests please stand? And I'll just ask you to take a moment to don your white coats, and our pharmacist colleagues who are here and our guests are welcome to assist you as you put on your coats. Congratulations. Please remain standing. Will our guests and pharmacists here, as you are already doing, please stand and face the class of 2025 to receive and bear witness to the Pledge of Professionalism. Okay, so this is the time. We'll ask student readers to please move towards your microphones. And I'll give you a moment to do that. And just a reminder that individual members of the class will state the pledge for all of their classmates, and all members of the class will read the final statement in unison. So I will ask Caroline from the class of 2T5 to begin.
As a pharmacist, as a professional, a pharmacist must adhere to a demanding set of ethical principles. High ideals are necessary to ensure the quality of care extended to patients.
Adoption of these principles begins when a student joins all members within the professional community of pharmacy.
As students of pharmacy and members of the pharmacy community, we believe that there is a need to build and reinforce a professional identity founded on integrity, ethical behavior, and honor.
This development, a vital process in our pharmacy education, will guide us in our educational journey towards the professional relationship we must establish between society and ourselves.
Integrity will be an essential part of our everyday life, and we will pursue all academic and professional endeavors with honesty and a commitment to service.
As members of the professional community of pharmacy, we are ambassadors for all other members, and we will work to ensure that our actions uphold the integrity and prestige of other members and of the profession.
Therefore, as pharmacy students, we will embrace loyalty and duty to the profession by contributing to the well-being of others and by enthusiastically accepting responsibility and accountability afforded by our affiliation with the profession.
We will pursue professional competence through self-directed and continual learning.
We will strive for higher ideals, cooperation, and harmony amongst our classmates, academic and non-academic staff, and professional colleagues within the university, community, and the profession.
We will adopt professional and ethical standards of behavior within the university and in practice settings.
We will thereby encourage collegiality amongst our professional peers and respect their rights to optimal learning environments and career opportunities.
We will uphold the profession of pharmacy with respect and pride.
We will speak respectfully and constructively of the profession and strive to promote the positive contributions the profession can make to patients' care amongst our professional peers, within the university community, and to society.
We will maintain the highest ideals of patient care and professional attributes to facilitate a positive rapport and trusting relationship required of the pharmaceutical care provider.
We will support our colleagues by actively encouraging personal commitment to the spirit of the Ontario College of Pharmacists Code of Ethics and to this pledge of professionalism.
As a pharmacy student, I hereby agree to this code of behavior and will strive to uphold my pledge of professionalism throughout all aspects of my education in pharmacy.
Thank you all. The pharmacy class of 2025 is hereby officially inducted into the professional community of pharmacy. Okay, we'll ask you to please remain standing for 1 second while we take a photo. Do you want to take a photo now? Yeah. So we'll just ask you to please remain standing while we take a group photo. Okay, eyes on Steve. We'll get you to move in. Okay, we'll get everybody to move in to the center so we can get you all in. Okay, please be seated. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your enthusiastic participation today. To our distinguished guests, Susan, Jen, and Olivia, our faculty and staff, and our family and friends who were joining us online, thank you for coming this evening. To the students, I have a couple of logistics. On your way out this evening, we'd like you to please take a moment to sign the Pledge of Professionalism book, which is set up in the Jack Kay room off the atrium, okay? And we know many of you are looking forward to taking photographs with your friends before you leave. We've set up the Leslie Dan Faculty of Pharmacy backdrop in the Jack Kay atrium. I would ask that in the spirit of efficiency, in the spirit of following the university's COVID-19 protocols, I'd ask that you please only enter the room in small groups and that you just consider that there's lots of you and limited time to take photos. So we'll ask you to kind of move in and out of that room in small groups, just to be mindful that many people would like a photo this evening. So thank you to all of our participants this evening, and to you, the class of 2025, congratulations on becoming members of the professional community of pharmacy. So this concludes the formal ceremony, and just to keep things sort of orderly as we exit, what I'm going to ask us to do is for just students stay seated, and we'll start to ask people to leave from the front, and we'll go sort of aisle by aisle using both staircases. Please do introduce yourself to our guests who, if they're able to stay around for a few moments in the atrium. So thank you, everybody.